Hi, everybody. I'm Ginny Schuster with Who Do You Know? And we all know that life is about who do you know? Today, I am excited to have Ken Wyble with us, and he is a chef. I met him on LinkedIn. I saw this beautiful picture of a delicious dessert, and I knew I had to connect with him. And I'm thinking, now what took him into that field? How is it that he creates such beautiful desserts that are appetizing, as my mother would call it? So welcome, Ken. Thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. This is quite the delight and a treat because it's outside of the norm of what I do up here at the ranch.
So Ken, you're at Vista Verde Ranch outside of Steamboat. So do you want to tell us how you ended up getting there? What was the path that you took to get where you are?
Ultimately, it's like a 20-year journey of culinary adventure that I've had of various sorts, between restaurants, catering, private chef, personal chef, lessons, even kitchen cleaning I started doing last year in COVID because catering kind of went out the window with COVID. So I was also most recently a guest chef at a restaurant I helped open 2 years ago in Highlands Ranch in the Denver metro area. But ultimately, I was looking for something a little more, I guess, all-inclusive for myself because I was so scattered doing so many different things. I started to also, because I actually have a twilight goal of running and owning and operating a bed and breakfast type of facility where I could be like a private chef for a small group of rotating people on an ongoing basis, breakfast, lunch, and dinner type of thing. Because what I've discovered as the personal or private chef is that one of my favorite things to do was that those retreats that take place up in the Colorado mountains of various groups. It could be business, it could be yoga, health and wellness, family. And I take the burden off of all those culinary responsibilities and come up with wonderful things. And it's such a pleasant, delightful, intimate gathering when you're able to do something like that. And so I developed this sort of dream of one day, and that would be my final destination, would be owning and operating that bed and breakfast here in Colorado, because Colorado is amazing in so many ways.
Yes. Definitely. So you have a lot of things on your plate as far as should you go that route, you have to think about being an entrepreneur. And there are so many things that get involved with being an entrepreneur. I'm sure you're finding that out if you don't already know.
Oh, that's true.
Are you going to have employees and your accounting? How do you set up the business and how do you network and get your name out there? That sort of stuff. I'm sure you've thought about that, but you seem to be getting your name out.
Well, that's part of it too. I was essentially blessed in such a way. I could never do culinary 100% while I was married. Because I found it to be harmful to the marriage, you could say. And so I did a lot. That's why I did a lot of like small things here and there. But I was very fortunate that I was able to do things like be a business and marketing consultant for the South Metro Denver Chamber of Commerce. And
Nice.
so I developed these skills to not only network, but understand the value of people around me and their contributions, and being able to either recognize or utilize the various people around me for that assistance of the things I don't want to do. I want to be in the kitchen, period.
Good point. And so you're bringing in the connections. It's all about who do you know and how can you network and who knows who to help you out. But also, I noticed, Ken, you got to have a clear goal. And it sounds to me as though you have come up with it.
Well, that's true. And so what happened was, when I was looking for more consolidated work for me to do this last year in the Denver metro area, I started to look at the job openings occurring in hospitality so that I can get more of that under my belt. And I first applied to a position at the Amara Resort in Sedona, Arizona. And that made me realize I was willing to relocate to some extent, even though my kids are in the Denver metro area, but they're getting
Oops.
older enough where I can have some gap in between visits, and that's okay. But that didn't work out. And then this job here at Vista Verde came up, and I simply just applied, not really knowing too much about it. But the more I looked at the website and the blogs that people write about this place, the YouTube video that people make about this place, I soon understood that this was an actual dream job of its own. And I could not believe that, for example, they have a down season here every November and April, where they close.
Okay.
And as the sous chef here, they are giving me paid vacation on those 2 months.
Ooh, nice.
And I have not had a paid vacation in over 10 years.
Oh, thank you. He says.
So it blows my mind to even just think about it. So I'll be returning to the Denver Metro at the end of October. And then most of November, I'll be in the Denver Metro, and I don't have to work. It's unbelievable.
You get to visit with your kids and be one-on-one with them. That's huge.
Exactly.
Family is where it's at.
It is. It is. And then when my kids, my kids are 18 and 15, right? My
Right.
daughter is 15. I will love to spend time back in the metro area with her.
Oh,
But
I bet.
once she leaves the nest, well, all those Novembers and Aprils off, I want to travel.
There you go. Maybe with them, maybe without them.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit more about Verde Vista. You might as well brag a little bit about it. It sounds like a terrific guest ranch.
It's amazing, really. It's a all inclusive guest ranch. And imagine this, you have the choice when you arrive of doing things like all day horseback riding, fly fishing, hiking, mountain biking. In the winter, you can do snowshoeing, you can do cross country skiing, snowmobiles, you name it. And I'm in the
Wow.
summer, we're doing those paddle boards on the different lakes around here. Up here, there's like 5 state parks up here too. That's how amazing it is.
Oh my
So,
goodness. So how many acres is it?
well, I want to say it's about 100 acres here, but it backs up to national forest. So they have access
Oh,
to trails and whatnot that go on for millions of acres, it seems like. So it's
oh,
really amazing.
that's fun. So being a chef, do you get to choose the meals that you want, or are you given a little bit of direction?
Well, they have kind of a set menu, if you will, and do a formal dinner on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But
Nice.
those change up a little bit based on kind of what we can get in. It's kind of nice that here at the ranch, we still get the food truck deliveries from but we have to use several to get what we need. But we also are blessed by getting eggs from a nearby ranch, bacon from a nearby ranch. And so those types of things are readily available, and very nice. But as a sous chef, right, I just kind of help with everything. And then a lot of nights it's, hey, we need an hors d'oeuvre for the happy hour that occurs, which is every night. And they do sometimes the same things, but then I come along, and now that I'm here, I introduce a lot of new things. And I'm mainly just looking at things that probably need to get used before they go bad. But at the same time, and I think you mentioned earlier about how the dish you noticed looked good. And
Yeah.
I don't have any type of culinary education, but I do have a degree in graphic design. I am an artist.
Oh, yes, definitely. I can see it come out in that plate. And I think you almost have to have that ability when you're a chef, don't you?
Well, creativity is huge,
Yeah.
but also understanding that there's, food can also be a feast for the eyes,
Right.
um, and that makes it a lot more fun.
And that's very important, as my mother would always say. As I mentioned earlier, she always liked the word appetizing as well as appetizing.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's very nice.
Yeah, she was original. That's cool. So you get to plan the whole meal the whole way through. So you have to do the appetizers, you have to do the, not have to, but I'm sure you enjoy the regular main menu as well as dessert every single time. Or is that basically the formal dinners, and then you have a lot more slack for breakfast and lunch?
They actually do have, I want to say, a really great team approach to everything here. Because not only do I work with the executive chef, but the food and beverage director is also a chef. And the two of them do major contributions. And then we have 4 different line cooks that also work with us, as well as a pastry chef. And
Wow.
it is a robust culinary operation here. The formal dinners are extraordinary because they offer 2 choices of appetizer and then 3 choices of entree. So you might have a fish, a major protein, and then a vegetarian option.
Okay.
And then we can make variations from those dishes. But those formal dinners are things you would get at the nicest restaurants in Denver, for example.
Give me an idea of what size groups you have there.
Okay, like right now we have 30 guests staying in the various cabins. In the summer, when the larger cabins have entire families, including kids, it can expand typically up to 60 people. And that's about it.
Okay.
Average is probably 30 to 35.
Now, is it different families, or is it usually one full extended family?
Oh, well, the cabins themselves will hold various families. But strangely enough, as an example, the group that's in here now is just here Sunday through Thursday morning.
Okay.
Thursday afternoon, one man bought out the entire ranch and is bringing 40 of his friends
Oh, wow.
to celebrate his 50th birthday.
No kidding. How fun. Now that's a celebration.
And these cabins are really nice.
Are they?
They're very well appointed. And I say all inclusive, right? If you tell them, I want Cabernet Sauvignon from a particular vineyard every day, I want Pellegrino, I want LaCroix, I want Jack Daniels for every night, for my Coke every night. I mean, that's what they put in there. And then there's a hot tub on the patio. And some of the neat YouTube videos are people that are in their hot tub, then they jump over the ledge into the snow, and they get back in the hot tub.
Oh my goodness, that is so fun. Wow, that would be a memorable 50th birthday. Holy crow.
I
Wow.
think so. I think so, because he even, requested very specific menu items
Okay.
and it'll be Thursday through Sunday that his group will be here. And, and what a delight for us.
Oh, I know. And are you allowed to interact with a lot of the people, so you get to meet those people, the chef, get introduced to them, or do you kind of lay low?
What's interesting is, as the sous chef, I don't have the opportunity to do a lot, but the ranch hands, the wranglers, the housekeepers, so many of the staff, the guides out there, right? They do, and they even call it's the secret sauce here at Vista Verde, because the guests love having these different, and it's such a varied age group too that come in and work here.
Interesting.
And they have their own stories to tell. And then the people that come here just love having the people sit down, enjoy happy hour with them, enjoy some of the meals with them. It's a really like all inclusive. I'm not kidding. There's so much to do here.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I did visit the website and it looks so delightful. It even shows a map of some of the different buildings and I don't know whether you call them cottages, different houses for the different people, or the lodge that probably holds some people if they want to sleep there as well.
That's true. The main building itself does have 3 rooms, but only one of them has the hot tub.
Oh, that's for the birthday boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's staying.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. So if they're hiring, what kind of people are they looking for? When you want to put in should someone listening be interested in getting hired on there, give us an idea of what type of people they enjoy having hands on there.
I think a lot of the staff here are, for example, I see so many different degrees, so it's not a particular degree. It happens to be, I think, people that love horses, for example, uh,
Okay.
come in, kids in college, right, come here in the summer and work. Kids after college come here and work for a season or two, and it gives them sort of like some ranch type experience, I think. But it's also so beautiful year round. And, even on my day off, I could go with a group to go fly fishing if I wanted to. On my day off, I could go get a massage. I could, get all sorts of different things and
Oh,
have
they
a,
do massage there also.
oh yeah, I'm not kidding. It is a ton of things. They even have like leatherworking classes, photography classes, um, cooking classes, which is I'm going to get on in the wintertime.
Wow.
They have wine tastings. They literally have a wine cellar here bigger than any restaurant I've seen in Denver, full of different wines because they do wine pairings with the formal dinners, and then they offer these bottles for sale to the guest if they want, and so they're able to utilize the space, but B, really try to target the needs and wants of the clientele in some way.
So do they have to, when they sign up to come there, do they have to know ahead of time what they want to do, whether it's wine tasting or horseback riding, all those different things, the leather work?
They might have a good idea before they get here, but once they get here, they have the opportunity to change, um, sign up, or whatever they wish. I imagine many don't have the final decision until maybe even the day of.
Because they probably are more descriptive and getting on site, it's probably easier to decide and see what's available there.
Sure, sure. But they have wonderful people. Like, I mentioned 30 people right now, up to 60. Well, there's over 70 people on staff. It's a little
Oh,
smaller right now, as a lot
wow.
of kids have returned to college or they've taken other jobs elsewhere. So our staff is a little bit reduced, but it seems as though there are always more staff than guests here. And so it gives, I think, a really good sense of customer service that is really
Yes.
top notch.
It sounds terrific. Now, you told me at the beginning that you were a good storyteller. Do you have a good story to tell?
Oh, well, like one of my best stories is my culinary journey, but also my love of, I think, food itself is also fantastic. I'm an only child, but I ended up getting, it was a total blessing, exchange students to spend some time with me growing up. And in return, I went to visit them in their countries. So
Nice.
at the age of 16, I'm traveling to Egypt by myself
Oh, wow.
to spend time with an exchange student that had spent the year with us. And then I also basically hooked up with another group of students that was doing some traveling around Egypt. But that set the stage, I think, for the rest of my life. And when I got home from Egypt, sitting in my kitchen was a boy from La Spezia, Italy. And
Oh,
he and
pasta?
I, he and I became like brothers, really. And so not only did I go to Italy after that year of high school, my family came at some point, and Nico was our tour guide around Italy. I came back again in the spring break of my senior year, uh, basically, though, to just ask permission if it was okay if I spent a year with them in Italy.
Fair is fair. He was with us for a year. Can't I be with you for a year?
Yep. They were obviously very delighted. And so my first year out of high school, I spent a year in Italy. And that really, really sort of nailed down a true passion for food by totally because
Now, was it pasta and the Italian? I have friends who go over to Italy all the time, and they have gotten to love the wine there and the food, which mostly I believe is pasta, but maybe not.
oh, it's so many things. One of the most extraordinary things is that like Sunday afternoon family meal, which has pasta is one of 30 things sitting on the table. Uh,
Wow. Someone was cooking in the kitchen.
yeah, the Italian style of cooking is not necessarily built around pasta, but the Italian style, and I even call myself an Italian style chef, and that is layering flavors with the freshest possible ingredients. And by doing so, you can build so many extraordinary things. Lasagna is a great example of that because you're building sauces, you're building components, and then you build it together, and it makes a beautiful thing. But they do that with meats. I mean, the Tuscan steak is extraordinary, and it's so simple.
Now, is it because it's marinated, or what is the secret besides what sauces or just
It's just
time?
it's just a huge, delicious piece of beef that they grill with a little salt and pepper, maybe a little olive oil, and that's it. And it's beautiful.
Unbelievable.
But everywhere you go in Italy, you travel 1 mile, and the food and the language starts to change.
Really? So they have what is Italian? I think of it as mostly Spanish. Am I, is there Italian?
Yes, so the Italian language is one of the basically romantic languages that came from Latin, and so it's
Oh,
similar, but there is not a lot of crossover with Spanish or French, or Portuguese for that matter. They tend to have their own words for things, especially the dialects that occur all throughout Italy. They have their own words for different things, you know. So
so
the
did
one
you learn
like
Italian?
I did, I still actually speak Italian. Um,
Fun. Nice.
I'm not sure how, except that I did go to the University of Florence in Italy, and
Okay.
they did have an oral examination. They said to get entrance into the school, and so I not only studied my senior year of high school, I was going to the Italian Cultural Center in San Diego to take classes. Once I got there, I took classes with a group of foreigners, if you will. And then once I got down to Florence, I then had a private tutor so that I could nail this entrance exam. And so I go into the entrance exam, and it's some professor behind a bunch of books and paperwork, and he just not even looking at me, saying, "What's your name?" And like he's filling out a form, like, "Where are you from?" And he's like 3 or 4 simple questions. That was it.
And that was
But
it. And you were in, huh?
But what was neat though was that by December, like I struggled as the classes started, but by December, I was thinking in Italian, dreaming in Italian, and
Wow.
so it's like a switch was flipped, and boom, I was good to go.
And I think that's the best way to actually learn a language is by just getting right in there into the country of the
Oh, for
language
sure.
that you want. I
Oh, for
know in the beginning, I'm sure that your brain is swimming with all the words and trying to keep up with it, but it's going to be faster as opposed to taking years to learn a language, as you said, couple months, and you're not only dreaming, completely thinking in Italian. Got to be tough.
and,
Take
and that
lots of
was
aspirin
yeah.
because it hurts the brain. Well, you're absolutely fascinating. Can people get in touch with you if they want to know more about chef life? If this is something of interest, how do you reach out to those people who want to follow in your tracks?
Oh, probably the best, just like yourself. LinkedIn is a fantastic communication tool where we tend to focus on business related topics,
Okay,
as opposed to the other social media channels that get a little more frivolous, if you will,
right.
on content. But I call Facebook my playground, and I will share information with anybody that wants to reach out because they can send me a message without even connecting with me on Facebook, and I will see
Okay,
that. Um,
okay,
but LinkedIn, I accept all connection requests on LinkedIn, and I'm actively connecting with other chefs, especially on LinkedIn,
perfect.
so that I can have that ongoing conversation in the industry. But also those that are interested, they can also then just reach out to me on any level, and I love talking about it in any way.
I can see that it's your passion. What a great job you have. And I love the place you're working. It just looks so super.
It's incredible. It really is.
What a fascinating life. And it's all about who do you know?
That's true. And it's sort of like some of the smaller blessings that I've come across. For example, the HR person that first reached out to that got this job set up and went through everything, gave me the tour and whatnot. The nicest HR person I've ever worked with.
No
The
kidding.
the, the food and beverage director, his name is Charlie, um, and he is truly the nicest chef I've ever worked with by far. That those personalities truly run the gamut out there.
Well, you
And,
may not reach your goal because you're enjoying where you are.
oh yeah, and in fact, I think I will be here for good 10 years because I'm going to enjoy that lifestyle of
Yeah.
traveling in the off season and
Yeah.
building some wealth so that I can afford to finance my dream job in the future.
Right. And that time off to reconnect with yourself is just so important. And especially, as you said, you've got two kids, 18 and 15. This is a good time to free up and spend some time with them.
Exactly.
So, that's the teen years is very important. And they don't know that they need to learn so much from their dad. you know, they think they know it all. Well, I really appreciate the sharing of information about who do you know and how you got into this through all your connections. That's so important to share with people that really anything they do, they can just set your mind to it and start reaching out there and connecting with people. And you're a great person to connect with.
And thank you. This was a delight.